Next on our travel list was Port Townsend. I had fallen in love with the town a year ago this month while watering the garden for 3 weeks for good friends and classmates, Mark and Marg. While in town, we were again their guests. It was time to go hike in the Olympian Mountains, and the 4 of us were off to Deer Park to the trailhead. It was wonderful being in the mountains again. The flowers along the way were beautiful. When we got high enough, we could see Mount Rainier. We found a lovely viewpoint to sit and have our lunch. On the way down, we came across a grouse in the trail getting a dust bath. One of the babies gave it a try as well. It was a lovely day for hiking. Last year, while living in Port Townsend, almost every day, I walked by the whale watching tour boat. This year, Laura and I decided to go and watch whales. Laura and I wore our masks while inside the boat. One crew member and only one other passenger did the same. As our boat left port and headed into the bay, we were hopeful, but we had been promised a future free trip if we did not see any whales. After traveling for some distance without seeing any, our fortune changed. We saw an orca whale blow a plume of water and then slowly rise to the surface. Excitement grew as we saw more and more. We were given to believe that ours was an exceptionally good day for whale watching. Our captain told us he had seen a message on Facebook about the position of some whales that had been seen and had set our course to that location. I'm not sure how many whales there were, but there seemed to be 2 distinct pods of whales in the area. Our captain cut our engines, and for 2 hours we enjoyed the whale watching experience. They were all orca whales with the identifying white on their bodies. The orca, also called killer whales, are toothed whales belonging to the oceanic dolphin family, of which they are the largest member. They are recognized by their black and white patterned bodies. I remember flying on Shamu, the Southwest Airlines plane painted like a orca whale. A sister whale watching boat from another port joined the fun. 2 of our crew members were busy taking pictures as well. As we headed back to port, we were delighted with our day of whale watching. Heading next for the Oregon coast, we stopped at the home of Dave Rue, another schoolmate of mine. Dave built his lovely home deep in the Olympic forest. We followed him on a trail he had carved through his property. He is a conservationist and has gotten his property designated as a conservation easement, never to be logged, subdivided, or developed in perpetuity. Laura noted that it was like walking through a portal into another world, with all of the ancient trees, lovely moss, and ferns blanketing the area. Retired now, Dave had spent 34 years researching the whales of Alaska with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. We enjoyed telling him about our recent whale watching experience. We spent that night parked outside the home of Margot, another classmate, in Lacey, Washington. Now, on the final leg of our trip, we headed to the Oregon coast. It was a joy seeing the coastline again. We stopped for a short hike down to the beach through a lovely rainforest with interesting trees. It was a lovely walk. We found many enjoying the beach. A good number were trying to surf in the windy conditions. I love watching the breakers hit the rocks and splash up into the air. Eventually we came to the mouth of the Columbian River, where Lewis and Clark ended their arduous journey of exploration. We remembered seeing the challenges presented them at Great Falls, where we had stopped 3 weeks earlier on the second day of our trip. After finding the Columbian River, it was smooth sailing for Lewis and Clark. We were thankful for all that had happened since to make smooth sailing for our travels. We found a lunch spot along the wide river. A bunch of grade school kids were learning the art of sailing on what seemed tiny little sailboats. A rainbow at the KOA campground on our final night seemed a celebration for a wonderful trip. On our last day, not wanting the adventure to end quite yet, we got off the interstate in Rawlins, Wyoming. We found the ideal picnic spot in a small park down by the railroad station. There was even a caboose to climb on, and there were musical instruments to play. With another end to another adventure, Laura and I were grateful for the amazing beauty we had seen, the great friends we had met, and the wonderful 3 weeks of being together on the road.